Meghan and that Spotify deal, exactly what is the inside track? Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the heart of London. Thanks as ever for joining me today. Rather windy day. We're still recovering from Storm Malik, as it's called, or Storm Corrie, I think it is now. Can't keep up with all the names. Wherever you are, I hope you're having better weather than we're having here right now in the very freezing United Kingdom. Lovely to see you though, whatever you're doing. Back as ever to your breaking roll story of the day. Now, as we know, this particular story is evolving daily. It's all about the deal now with Spotify. As we also know, legendary singer-songwriters Neil Young and Joni Mitchell have decided to pull their product from their platform simply because they said they don't agree with certain elements of it, right? It's interesting, isn't it, though, because you can only really do things like that when you are an international success. You know, you're worth millions of pounds every year in royalties, so you can make these grandiose statements. I'm not necessarily saying it's right or wrong, but what is interesting with that particular story is, of course, there are certain people that truly rely on the income that Spotify does deliver for their brand. And we're not talking about Harry and Meghan, because as we now know, they decided to release an official statement from the office of, I always love that one, don't you? And basically they're claiming they're staying with Spotify. But what is the reasons why? Well, it's quite interesting really, because so far Spotify have paid Harry and Meghan a, shall we say, instalment, right, for these podcasts, which we keep hearing about, and we're wondering whether they're ever going to see the light of day, all that sort of stuff. Well, there's two reasons really, because if they decided to go out against Spotify, it makes it very difficult for Harry and Meghan, simply because, once again, they'd have to return that instalment. So far, I can understand the problem that they have. It's not always about keeping the money, but, you know, for their generation, who really is Neil Young and who is Joni Mitchell to that generation? If it was somebody a little bit more in vogue, perhaps they would have bigger things to think about. A lot of people will say, of course, that Harry and Meghan simply don't want to give up the cash. Now, I could possibly agree with you on that thing. Why should they? They signed a deal. Yes, they haven't done anything yet, but really it's not their fight. It's not their beef, is it? A lot of people, though, are saying, well, they should come out in force and, of course, put their stance up against, allegedly, whatever this battle is. For now, it's a very tricky position for Harry and Meghan, because if they started to do that, then other things may crumble in their budding empire of making money. And right now, they seriously do not need any more battles on their hands. I'm being very kind in this particular speech, but trust me, they just don't need the battle. So, you see, Harry and Meghan are now going to plough ahead and see how it goes. But for Spotify, it's an even bigger deal, because they have to see, in fact, whether the Spotify audience will finally ever embrace Harry and Meghan. Once again, another battle royale, as they often say. As for Neil Young and Joni Mitchell, I'm not too concerned about them. After all, they still continue to make millions from some of those iconic songs that we still all love and admire around the world. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.